Hey there, this is Lisa Akia. Welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, if you are brand new, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm a certified career and resume strategist and the founder of We Apply. We help career changers and promotion seekers land opportunities that are at their desired salary, job title, and career fulfillment. And we also help corporate leaders by leading career development and leadership development workshops within companies and organizations. So I'm glad to have you here. Today we're talking about job interviews. I'm sharing a couple of questions that you can ask in your next interview. This is something I often get asked as a career strategist. What should I ask at the end of an interview? You want to ask what you actually want to know. As you were doing your research to write your resume, to write your cover letter, to prepare for the interview, there must have been certain things that came to mind that you were like, oh, it'd be great for me to know this so I can make a good decision about this job and whether it's a right fit for me. So think of it always from that perspective. What do you actually want to know so that you can make a decision that is the right decision for you and your career? So some questions that I feel that are general enough that you can use across the board, but that can still help you get insight about the organization. The first question is, how do you support professional development and growth? Ultimately, as a professional, you may want to advance in your career, and even if it's not something that you're looking for, you still want to grow as a professional in what you do. So knowing what the organization provides in terms of career development, professional development, and growth can give you insight into the culture, and it can also give you insight into how they value their employees and their progression. So really understanding what the organization offers in terms of professional development will really help you to assess whether or not this is an organization you want to work with. There was a study recently done by the Pew Center that was talking about people who exited their jobs in 2021. What were the various reasons? And they said that 63% of people tied with pay. The reason why they were leaving their jobs was lack of professional development. So professional development is something that is quite important to a lot of people. So if you can get that information up front to know in the interview, what is this organization offering in terms of professional development, it will help you assess whether or not it's a place you actually want to work. The second question that you can ask is, what would you consider a success in this role a year from now, or 6 months from now, or whatever timeline you want? The reason why this question is important and helpful is because it gives you the perspective of what plans do they have for this job. What plans do they have for you if you were the one to take on this role? What are the milestones, or what are the goals that they want you to achieve in a certain time frame? So this will really set the tone for you to know what is expected of you once you take on this role, and whether or not this aligns with your own career goals. Something that is good to know is that if they are unable to answer this question concretely, that may be a red flag to you to know that, hey, there is no thought or no planning that has gone into this role. They're just trying to bring someone in, but they haven't really made a plan of what that job is going to look like or what your role is going to be. The third question is, what is your onboarding process? This is one that I always encourage my clients to ask. You want to know that there is actually an onboarding process. I've seen so many situations of people starting new jobs and there was no plan for them. There was no plan in terms of how they were going to acquire the information to be able to start the job. There was no schedule, nothing was prepared for them. It's horrible sometimes, the situations that people go through in taking on a new job. So ask the question of what is the onboarding process so that you can feel confident that when you're starting this job, you will be supported. Starting a new role isn't always easy. So you want to make sure that you're going to be supported along the way, so that you have the tools that are necessary to be a success as you take on this new role. The fourth question is, how is performance evaluated in this role? This will give you a good sense of what are the performance review structures, but also what are some of the milestones in between that they may have to evaluate the work that you do. This will also give you a sense of how feedback is delivered within the organization, and also see whether that style aligns with your own way of working and your own way of evaluating your work. Last question that you can ask is, what measures has your company put in place to advance diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging? Glassdoor recently found that 67% of job seekers considered EDI when they were making decisions regarding employment. So this may be important to you too. You want to make sure that you're going into a company that doesn't take diversity as something that is performative, but they actually embed it within their culture and within their system and the way they do things. So that is another question that you can ask in an interview. Always remember that the interview is a two-way street. As much as they are interviewing you, you are also interviewing them. So make sure you ask those questions that you really want to know about so that you can make a right decision. I have ended up in a toxic workplace because I missed some serious red flags in an interview, and I share this story in one of my YouTube videos. I'm going to share that link right here to the video because I don't want you to miss these red flags in your next interview. So I will see you in that video. Take care.